Hello, this is Bob Sorrentino from ItalianGenealogy.blog. Today we have a special guest, Letizia Sinisi, the founder and designer of Italy Rooting. Letizia and I are working on my rooting trip coming up in April. I guess it's evening there now, right, Letizia? So good evening.
Yes, good evening.
And my first question for you is, why did you start Italy Rooting?
I started thinking of the way to reconnect to my roots. Actually, I was driven by a desire to reconnect to my roots in the other way around. Actually, I knew I had some relatives in the United States because I have a strong emigration story in my family. This is the brother of my grandmother that emigrated when he was only 15 years old. He was with some uncles that found a place in the boat, and he left in 2 hours. I remember that they told me that he went away, and nobody in the family saw him again because he had an accident at work, because he was a mason and he was in the building sector, and he never came back. So when I was a child, I saw my grandmother receiving letters from him, telling about his life, telling about his family. He went away when he was a teenager, and he continued narrating his story until he died, and he died quite soon because he was only 54. So I lived when I was a child, I lived and I experienced also the sorrow and the pain that this absence could generate. So I started thinking of connecting. And when I was still in the corporation, I had another job in the past. I shot the Giovinazzo. This is the town where I am from, because I live in Rome, but I'm from Puglia. And I sent the movie to an art crafts movie, handmade movie, to the address that was on the letters received by my uncle, and my uncle when he was still alive. And I reconnected with my parents there, with my relatives there, thinking of So I think, and I'm quite sure, that this desire of recalling some roots and something about my family that was in the United States was already in myself. And when I grew up, I always thought of creating a bridge, and I succeeded in doing that. After 8 years of research, then last May, I welcomed my cousin that came to Puglia from the United States, and that's so it's a personal reason that drove me to reconnect and to build as many bridges as possible, and that's my mission still now.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of what happened with me too. I think I just kind of felt something. We were in Italy for the first time almost 25 years ago, and we went to Rome, and then we took the train to Naples, and then I drove down to Sorrento, and what I didn't know at the time was that the Caracciolo family lived a half a mile from the train station in Naples. And when I found that out, I said, I can't believe it. I was right there, and I had no idea. And apparently, they must have owned that whole street at the time, because when I look back at the records, I see they were at 28 and 26 and 30 and all of that kind of stuff. So, but I think it is if you have that bug, it kind of sticks with you. And that's when and plus my wife said, you love it here, don't you? And I said, I feel like I'm with my people. That's the feeling I had when I was in Italy. And besides the food, I love that too.
Yes, of course. Of course. And gastronomy.
So how long have you been in business?
I've been in this business already for 10 years now. When I started I started after the first phase of my life in American corporations, where I actually got the tools to make a dream a project, a real project. And so I started 10 years ago with an evolution in time, because what I strangely and surprisingly, because I had moved after university, I had moved from. I was an immigrant. I am an immigrant in Rome, coming from the south of Italy. And what is quite strange is that I didn't know a lot about Puglia when I came to Rome. So first of all, I said, when you want to reconnect someone with your roots, you have to know the territory, to know the spirit of that region. And I started with a territory project, territory development project for to identify the excellence and all the different ways in which a territory can talk from the inside. That's why I don't like to talk about tourism when speaking about ancestry, but of rootism. In fact, I created the word rooting, and then from tourist to a rootist, because I suppose you, Bob, you don't want to feel yourself just a tourist, because the tourist is someone that watch things from the outside. In the travel, there is always some resonance, something that you feel in a country, you feel from people that you meet. But if you have Italian blood, Italy in your genealogy, you are one of us. You are one of the Italians, and you are Campano among Campani. You are an Italian among Italians. That's what a rootist is. So when you asked about the evolution, actually I started from the territory. In each region, I go for months because I need, first of all, to understand what the spirit of each region, to transmit it when people arrive, routists arrive. Because each region, we have 20 regions, and in each region is like a little country with its peculiarities. And so when you come, you will see that in Campania, you will feel a different spirit than in Molise, completely different, or in Calabria, completely different again. And so if you don't know the spirit of a land, you cannot transmit it. And we find a way of transmitting that. It's rooting, which is a style, a philosophy of travel.
Yeah, and to your point, even in America, I remember growing up, and I wish they had taught us more Italian. We only learned the dirty words mostly. But my parents used to speak to their parents in Italian, and we would listen and things like that. But I remember my father from Naples and my mother from Bari, when they would speak, they would say, "You're not saying it right. You're not talking right." And now that you mention it, you can see those differences. Even in America, growing up, we saw them. That's all gone now, obviously, because we're Americans and we're not Italians anymore. But there were those differences for sure. Well, that's going to be interesting for me to see for sure. I think the next question is, and I think you kind of answered it, but what's different between Italy rooting and just, going Perillo tours or something like that?
Okay. So basically, we have chosen to be selective and exclusive in the way in which we provide services. We are not saying that we are necessarily positioned in the extreme luxury segment, but we consider the experience in Italy the experience. So first of all, we put our face on what we do. So starting from myself, I put my face, and like I'm doing now. So I take all the responsibility for what is going on when you arrive. We are Italians. We live in Italy, and we know the Italian culture. So I think that is a plus. Italy Rooting is also committed to quality and excellence. And like we say, Italy Rooting itself stops time and transforms you, which means that we are not just there to create a sort of vacuum, a gap in time, but that time that you spent with us is richness that transforms you, because when you go back, you are richer, and you have received something that make your life more enjoyable, happier, and also memorable. I think basically that we have testimonials in our friends, that is our customers. I say customers, but actually there is such an intimate relationship with the rooties that with all of them we are friends, because we enter their life. We know the secrets of their families, of their stories, so we are friends. And I should say that 100% of our customers have given feedback that go over the expectation.
No, and that's certainly the feeling that I've been getting working with you, is the fact that it's not, I don't feel like I'm working with a travel agent. I'm working with someone that really wants me to find out who I am and where I came from, as opposed to just, hopping on a trolley or something and going around town and, this is the cathedral and this is the other thing and that kind of stuff. So, from my point of view, it's just the planning has been fabulous. So my next question is I know that you do all that, the routing part and everything, but what about if somebody doesn't want to have to worry about planes, trains, automobiles? How do you put all of that together?
Basically, Italy Routing is a specialist of the Ancestor travel, but is not a tour operator. We create teams. We create a team with and partner with tour operators. But selected tour operators, because first of all, when you launch something new, you have to train people. Otherwise, it's something that cannot be an island. So what we do is to create a team based on the requirements. And according to the nature of the trip, we put together a team of specialists in travel, in genealogy, in history, and also in the technicalities of the travel, because we have had people that they were just during a cruise, and they stopped in Naples and they came to Basilicata. After 4 hours, they went back again to Naples to continue their cruise. And we have had people that have organized themselves, all the airline tickets or the accommodation, and then we have provided all the other services. So another big differentiator is that we are extremely flexible, and we are flexible also based on the requirements, because what I strongly believe in is that reconnecting with your roots is a right, is something that should be accessible, and so we try to do our best to meet all the different needs. But first of all, we understand the motivation, because the motivation is what drives everything. And this, I hope I've answered your question because basically the answer is flexibility on all the requirements.
Right, no, definitely, and that's been my experience. Just for anybody who's listening, I don't know how many emails I sent, but I know it's been a lot, and I always get an answer quickly, and we work through whatever it is, and I mean, I think we've put together something that's really, really great, and that's going to be part 2 of this when I come back. Is we'll have photos and we'll have movies and we'll have everything that we could actually show people how great it really is, and that's going to be, I think, even more exciting than this. So.
Thanks, Bob. I just wanted to highlight also the fact that we call the experience that we provide is called the extended flow of the experience that begins as a pre, as a during, and has an after, a post. So basically, we prepare everything. Then there is the moment of truth where we live together and experience everything, and then there are memories and afterwards to return and return and return again and again. As I said, I think that for the so many activities and experiences that we can show you when you come, there is not all the necessary time, perhaps, but we'll definitely prepare the ground for other returns.
I really appreciate your time. I don't know if there's anything else that you have to say, but this is the first time we've talked face to face, so that was fun too.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening. You can email Letizia at italyrooting@gmail.com or go to www.italyrooting.com. Mention IG 2020 when you do. Follow us on Facebook in the Italian Genealogy group or at www.italiangenealogy.blog.